First, a prayer. Satchidananda Rupaya Vishwatpatyadi Hedave Tabatraya Vinashaya Shri Krishnaya Vayam Namaha. Satchidananda Rupaya Vishwatpatyadi Hedave Tabatraya Vinashaya Shri Krishnaya Vayam Namaha. We meditate on the dark complexioned God Krishna, whose nature is truth, consciousness, and boundless bliss, from whom emanates the world of name and forms, and who can remove our afflictions and sufferings. Peace be, peace be, peace be. Namaste. So today, we shall be discussing the meaning of Dharma. And that important aspect of Dharma, which is called SANATANA DHARMA. SANATANA DHARMA is applicable to all people across the world, across religions, cultures, political systems, economic systems. Sanatana Dharma is applicable. Though its origin is in the Hindu Vedic culture or civilization. Dharma is a set of values or rules, following which we will be able to create human flourish or happiness or fulfillment. We all are looking for fulfillment as an individual, as a community, and as a culture. Human fulfillment, human happiness. So Sanatana Dharma promises, or Dharma as a system, as a set of values. We have to follow this, apply these values in our life as we interact with the world. And the promise is, the outcome is human well-being, human flourish, human happiness. And for that we have to create a system, not only within ourselves and around us. So following that, we can create happiness. That's the promise. It's a system of rules. And since it's a set of values, it has a price. We have to pay a price for that. So we have seen there are instrumental values, end values, store values, exchange values. For example, gold is store value. You can store value in gold. Generally, its price doesn't go down, generally. Even if it goes down, it doesn't go down so drastically. So gold has got a store value. Money, bills, money has got exchange value. You can go to the market and buy things and create satisfaction for yourself and your family. So money has exchange value, gold has store value, and these two, money and gold, has got instrumental value. Instrumental value means you can gain something out of that. They are not in themselves end value. If you are lost in a desert and you have got a lot of gold with you and you are trying to get a glass of water, you are ready to exchange that gold for that mug of water. because that gives you ultimate satisfaction. So what is our end value? Our end value for which we are ready to pay any price. In terms of, I have seen, in terms of discipline. That is the price we are talking about. You have to undergo certain discipline, physical, mental, intellectual. These days they call it EQ, emotional intelligence. A kind of integration between your thinking, your feeling, your words, and your doing. There should be integration. So, latest word is EQ, emotional intelligence. So, we have to pay, that's the price that we are paying. And what is emotional intelligence? We are ready to postpone some of your comforts for a lasting good. That's the meaning of emotional intelligence. We are ready to postpone, forgo some of our immediate comfort needs so that we can ensure a sustainable level of happiness. So that we are ready to pay. So let us understand the definition of dharma is a set of values or rules by following which we can create happiness or fulfillment. And the word used here in Hindu wisdom tradition is prabhava. Prabhava means flourish, human flourish, or bodhi, you can say. So dharma, the purpose of dharma is defined in ancient times, ancient rishis, like the Vaisheshikas and Nayayikas or even Vedantins. The purpose of dharma is abhyudaya nishreyasha siddhi, the accomplishment of abhyudayam. Abhyudaya means material well-being, and nishreyasha means spiritual well-being. We need both, because a combination of both alone can create their happiness. So, this is what dharma is all about. Now we have to see what is the fundamental values we are talking about. Now we are sold to this idea. So we began this inquiry with a question. That is a very fundamental question. What was the fundamental question? What should I do? That was the fundamental question. I don't know. Doing what? I can be a happy person. I can make my family happy, my community happy, and myself happy. Because if you are not happy, nobody will be happy. Nobody will be happy with you, and you cannot make anybody happy also. So that is the fundamental. If I am okay, everyone will be okay. So what should I do? It's an ideal we are seeking. There is no guarantee you will be doing exactly what dharma says. I have an illusion about that. Dharma may say something, but you may do something else. Dharma says go to the east, you may go to the west. Dharma may say go inward, you may go outward. Everything is possible. That we will deal with later. That problem we will deal later. Why it is happening. So the scriptures say, the Upanishads and Dharma Shastras say, Dharma eva hado handi. Dharmo rakshati rakshidaha. Tasma dharmo na hadavyaha. Mano dharmo hadaha vadhi. So what does it mean? Dharma eva hadaha handi. Those who don't follow dharma, dharma will kill them. Meaning, if you don't follow these rules of dharma, that not following the rules of dharma will be harmful to you. Not only to you, to your family, to your community. If you don't follow the rule of gravity, let us say, the law of gravity, and if you jump from the 4th floor, gravity will take care of you, isn't it? It will take care of you. If you follow it, then you can create a comfortable life. So dharma eva hado handi. Those who don't follow dharma, they are going to their ruination. Not only they will be ruined, they also will pull down a few more people along with them. So following dharma is very, very important. Dharma eva hado handi. It's a kind of psychological motivation for you. If you know some kind of motivation necessary to follow dharma. Dharma eva hadohandi. Dharma rakshati rakshidaha. Whereas if you follow dharma, dharma will protect you. It's a safety net for you. Just follow it. And then you will end up in a good place. Initially it is painful. Initially we want to follow our reptilian brain, our limbic system, our impulses. So when you follow that, there's a temporary sense of, I did it. But later, it will bounce, it will boomerang on you. That intelligence, that continuous memory, what I did earlier, yesterday, what I am doing today, what will happen to me tomorrow, this is called the string of memory. Don't snap, don't tear that string of memory. Then alone, we can ensure a happy life. So dharma eva hadohanti, dharmo rakshati rakshitaha. Those who protect dharma, protect means not that you take a sword and try to protect dharma. Protect means those who live that dharma in your life, daily life. That is protection, that is nurturing dharma. When we do that, then it will protect you. Dharma eva hadohanti, dharmo rakshati rakshita. Tasmo dharmaha na khadavyaha. Therefore, don't ignore dharma. Don't kill dharma. Mano dharmaha avadhi. So that dharma won't kill us. Dharma won't leave us, abandon us. So don't abandon dharma. So that dharma won't abandon. It's a safety net for me. It shows your emotional intelligence, your foresight and hindsight and whatever sight you can command. So this is what the Dharma Shastra wants us. You have to be very, very careful because life is so complex. Life is so fragile and precarious. This planet, the life on this planet, nowhere in the world, but nor in the universe, as we know, the flame of life exists. Only in this planet. Nowhere in the universe. It's a very precarious flame. It's a very precarious flower that you and I enjoy. So at any cost, we have to protect it. We have to create a situation where life can flourish. So having warned like this, the Upanishad says, or the Dharma Shastra says, what is Dharma? So we have seen 4 levels of Dharma. Sanatana Dharma, Varnashrama Dharma. Varnashrama Dharma apply to you, to your personal predilections, personal personality, composition, traits and all that. And then there is Raja Dharma. Raja Dharma means you are part of a community. So being part of a community, you have certain responsibilities to the community. You also get some privileges from the community. So that reciprocal relationship has to be governed by a set of rules. That is called Raja Dharma. And we also have seen Abad Dharma. Abad Dharma is the values that we have to follow in emergency situation, where you may have to deviate from the norm, the general rules. So it's not that you blindly follow these rules. You have to intelligently follow the rules. Don't foolishly follow the rules. There are certain situations you have to innovate, improvise, move away from the track so that you can come back to the track. So that's called emergency dharma. I'll be explaining it elaborately when I give that talk. What is emergency dharma? And then putting all these together in your intelligence, in your mind, you can design Swadharma. Swadharma means, what am I supposed to do? What is my call? What is my place? What is my duty? Swadharma. So Swadharma is to be determined by you. Nobody else can do that for you. Of course, you can consult with your guru, read the scriptures, look the world around and what others are doing. But ultimately the standard is within you. You have to decide, what should I do, and take responsibility for what you are doing. Others can come and sit with you and cry with you, but the pain is yours. Nobody can share your pain. So there is a responsibility as an individual. And now we have come to a situation, our human actions are such, we have enormous power. Yes. So by our human action, we can destroy life on the planet. By our action. Earlier we could not have done that. But now we can. So our responsibility is exponentially higher now for our action. Every step of the way. We are almost on the brink. Every step of the way it will take you into the abyss. So that seriousness, that sense of responsibility is very, very important. And that's why I say there is a universal dharma applicable to all people. And when we look around, there are 5 serious challenges that we are facing today as a world community. And they are very serious. First challenge, as you all know, is environmental challenge. I don't want to go very much into this. You all are experts in that more than me. So, but I am giving you a cue. The environmental challenge. And it is very imminent, immediate. It's not that you can no more postpone that challenge. And we need a solution for it. Not only Indians or American, but all people, all the 7 billion people of the world has to find a solution. They have to sit together and scratch their head and find out what kind of rule we have to follow so that we can stop this immediate crisis of environmental challenge. And the second is nuclear war. All have stockpiled a lot of nuclear weapons. Russia, maybe 7,000 weapons. America, 8,000 weapons. India, Pakistan, Israel, China, Britain and France, all these countries. And others are struggling to get their own stockpile. So this is very imminent, very dangerous. And there are spots where danger is lurking. And the third I have seen is what you call inequality. Inequality is rising. 1% against 99%. And you cannot let it go like that. This inequality is not sustainable. So we have to do something about that. The rich people have to do something. They must become more generous in accommodating the poor, the deprived, the marginalized. It is their duty. So inequality is a dangerous situation. And the pandemic, we know. I tell you, there will be some pandemic or other all the time now. Because our lifestyle is such that these viruses are very happy. Because these intelligent human beings are creating situation within themselves and outside. So pandemic is going to survive. There will be some pandemic or some other something. So we have to create that inner immunity by following this dharmic lifestyle. And the last but not the least is the machine age. The machines are going to steal your self and hollow out your inner being. That danger is there. Not that it's that immediate, but it's there. It will hollow out your essential self and will be reducing you to an automaton or a puppy so that the machine can control you. That also is possible. So it's very important that we think about collective. It's a collective problem. So we need a universal dharma, which is called SANATANA DHARMA. And we can look into every culture for eliciting this universal dharma so that it becomes agreeable. We can create consensus. For example, let us look into the Jewish tradition, one of the oldest traditions. In the Jewish tradition, they talk about don't kill, don't steal, don't lie. This is a universal dharma. Can we dispute about that? This is a universal dharma. We can accept that across the world. When you come to the Christian tradition, they talk about love thy neighbor. Can you dispute about that? Is there any discussion that is needed about that? There is an innate agreement to this. Love thy neighbor. Or when you go to China, we see common good. The individual has to sacrifice for the common good. That's a Chinese value. Can you dispute about that? There's no need of disputation about that. And when you come to Islam, what is the value they are preaching? Peace. The very word Islam means peace. Because in peace, the best comes out of us. In war, the worst comes out of us. So peace. It's universal. And when you come to India, or the Hindu tradition, the centerpiece of this Sanatana Dharma is ahimsa. Ahimsa is a centerpiece of Sanatana Dharma. We all know that. Ahimsa is it's a political weapon also. Martin Luther King used ahimsa, non-violence, to secure political freedom. Nelson Mandela, to a large extent. Mahatma Gandhi was a champion of ahimsa. Buddha, Jesus Christ, they all supported ahimsa, non-violence. So what is the meaning of ahimsa? Apart from non-violence, a negative word non-violence. What is the real meaning of ahimsa? Ahimsa means inclusion. Including differences, including dissent, including a different opinion. So inclusion is the true meaning of ahimsa, which we have to learn how to be inclusive, how to respect the other. Inclusion means respect for the other. So ahimsa is a centerpiece of Sanatana Dharma. Ahimsa paramo dharma. Ahimsa is a supreme value. And value is something for which you are ready to commit, ready to undergo a change, ready to reflect upon, ready to spend your time and energy. Ahimsa paramo dharma. The Mahabharata describes. The initial stages in India, Dharma had an interesting meaning in the Vedic and the Brahmanic period. Dharma meant yagadayaha dharma. Dharma is rituals. And it had a purpose at that time. Dharma is a ritual, a yaga, a yajna. What is yajna? People coming together and creating a common goal and personifying that goal. This is my goal. And you are offering, lighting a fire and offering whatever you eat into that fire. Maybe rice balls, maybe flat bread, maybe a piece of meat, maybe liquor, the soma. Because you like it, you think God's also will like it. So you offer these things to propitiate that ideal. So people come together, create a common goal, and give it a personality, and then offer things into a fire. And later it became a puja. In India it became a puja. Puja means you embody your principle in a murti. The murti is an emblem or an embodiment of your ideas. Then you offer flowers. Then you do a namaskaram, prostration. When you do all this, then unconsciously these values get integrated into your system. And these yajnas and so one of the definition of dharma is yagadayaha dharmaha. This was the Vedic definition of dharma. Yagadayaha dharmaha. And what is the benefit of yoga, people coming together, espousing a common goal and sacrificing something to realize that goal. What are the benefits? There are certain benefits. One benefit is you create a community. When you do that, you create a community feeling. Second is got some psychological benefit. That we always live in fear. What will happen? What will happen? What will happen to me, to my children, to my family, to my country, to my community? So that fear, we always live in fear of death, disease. So if you do a yaga or a yajna, we feel I have done. Gods will propitiate me. Gods will bless me. We can sleep. We will get a good sleep that night. We will get a good sleep. That's a great benefit, isn't it? To get good sleep is a great boon from gods. So by doing that yajna, not only we create a community feeling, we also create certain we have some psychological benefits. By doing that, we can ward off fear of the future. That's one advantage. And then we create certain discipline. Early in the morning you get up, you have to set up fire, you have to gather things, you have to sit, you have to gather your mind and offer this material into fire, and you see the fire blazing forth. It itself creates a feeling of inspiration for you. So it creates a certain discipline which we all require. And also, it creates, what else? A certain connection. We feel connected to the universe as a result of that. So I'm not dismissing the importance of yajna. In earlier days, the definition for dharma in the early Vedic period and the period of the Brahmanas, the definition of dharma was yagadayaha. That is how the people organized themselves around the fire. But later, we find that during the Dharma Shastra period, let's say 5,500 years before Christ, and up to and thereafter, Dharma Shastra period, Christ and Buddha and Upanishads, that period, the definition of dharma changed. Now the definition of dharma is set of values which can govern human relationships. Human relationships and our relations with the nature. So in Mahabharata, Ramayana, and the Dharma Shastra, Manusmriti, Parashara Smriti, all these we find a change of definition with a human focus. A change definition of dharma. There is where the ahimsa become very, very important. Now the centerpiece of dharma or Sanatana Dharma is ahimsa. So there are three values in Sanatana Dharma which the Upanishad or Dharma Shastras expound. The three values are, one is ahimsa, inclusion. The other is dharana, sustainability. Whatever we do should be sustainable, which is hold life on this planet. Sustainability. Dharanat dharma. Ahimsa paramo dharma. And the third value, the Dharma Shastra talks about is prabhavam, human flourish or happiness. So these are the three. These are three components of Sanatana Dharma. One component, I repeat, is ahimsa, inclusion, mutual respect, mutual give and take. The other value is sustainability, can be sustained. For example, when we eat, we feel to eat a lot, isn't it? But is it sustainable financially and health-wise? Too much if you eat, it will create problems. Too much talk, too much violence. So this moderation in life is sustainability. This is a big value we are talking about these days. Sustainable value. So these three, meaning a human flourish, inclusive, sustainable human progress and flourish. This is the definition of Sanatana Dharma. I hope you agree with this definition, and are you ready to pay a price for it? Are you ready to imbibe these values, ahimsa value? And not only you imbibe it, and you have to express these values in your daily behavior as we interact with the world, then alone you can sustain yourself, and you can sustain the planet, and you can sustain the community. Otherwise, we are looking into the dark abyss as individuals and as a community and as a human race. It is time for us to sit together, regardless of our religious persuasions, our political ideologies, our economic thoughts. It is time for us to sit together and think seriously so that it goes into our system and we practice these values. Make an effort. Now the next question is that, so there are many ideas that the Dharma Shastra discuss about Sanatana Dharma. Now the next question is that, what is the source of this idea? Which is very, very important. What is the source of this idea? Sanatana Dharma. What is the proof for it? How do I believe in this? Because you're offering something into the future, isn't it? They are saying if you follow these rules, you are going to get such and such benefits. So what is the proof? Like Winston Churchill said, give me your blood, sweat and whatnot, and I'll give you freedom. I'll give you a freedom. But freedom is a modern Sanatana Dharma. Everybody, especially the Western secular value, is freedom. The four freedoms, as Roosevelt enunciated, the four freedoms. What are the four freedoms? Freedom from, let us say freedom from want, freedom from fear, freedom for worship, and freedom for expression. Speech, freedom of speech, freedom of worship, freedom from fear, freedom from want. This is a secular Sanatana Dharma. That also is included here. So we have to create a universal, global Dharma paradigm. Then it will be appealing because our challenges are universal now. It is not localized here and there. As somebody said, if a butterfly flaps its wing in Beijing, there will be tidal waves near San Francisco or LA. That's the kind of connectivity in which we are living. It's very important that we have to sit together and put all these ideas together. Now the next question is that, what is the source? What is the proof? What is the source for this? And one idea about the source of the Sanatana Dharma, God revealed. Isn't it? Moses removed his shoes and walked up to the burning bush, and the bush said, take the tablet and write down, don't kill, don't steal, don't lie. So where did this come from? From God. Whether you believe in God or not doesn't matter, but do you believe in at least in these values? Forget about where it came from. But it gives you an added confirmation. Some supreme intelligence revealed this to us. Our intelligence is limited. We cannot see beyond our nose. So that belief, our situation compels us to believe in that. That the supreme intelligence revealed these values to us. And in India, they say it is eternally existing. These values are floating in the collective human consciousness. It is the rule by which the world is holding together. These values are there. like buttermilk or milk. You have to churn it a little bit. So the rishis churned through tapas and meditation. And to that meditating mind, these values were revealed. There's another idea. Because unless you know the source, you may not feel convictions. So the Indian system says it is eternal, apaurushayam. It is always there. You have to sit quiet and close your eyes and calm your mind, take a deep breath, and these values will be revealed to you. But the modern secular system says these values are derived from our collective human experience. Our 7,000 years of collective experience has driven us to these set of values. There is no other way that we can sustain ourselves. So from collective human experience, these values arose. Or we can say, my conscience says that. Isn't it? Would you like to kill someone? Would you like to steal someone what rightfully belongs to them? Would you like to lie to someone? My conscience doesn't allow that. So look into your conscience. The conscience will tell you these are values. Ahimsa paramo dharma. My conscience. Or you can also say this is a reciprocal courtesy. As they say, do unto others as you would do them to you. Isn't it? A famous statement by St. Augustine, I think. Do unto others as you would they do unto you. This is a reciprocal courtesy. I don't want you to tell me lies. Okay? Then don't tell me also lies. So we together create an atmosphere of trust. Is reciprocal courtesy or favor. So whatever may be, you can have ideas, you can dispute and discuss about the source of these values, but we have no dispute about the relevance of these values in our life. So, regardless of the source, whether you are a secularist or a believer or a person of faith, we all universally agree to these values. Now we are ready to make a sacrifice. And that sacrifice, so the foundation of this value is Indriya Nigraham. Indriya Nigraham. And we find in all the scriptures, we find Indriya Nigraham. Indriya Nigraham, mind control over the mind. You can say, sorry, I have no control over the mind. It is very difficult. Some unconscious demons are working in me. Freud said that. Forget Freud now. As I say, recently there was a movement, spare the road and save the child. Spare the road and save the child. And you followed that principle and the child is further ruined or spoiled. Now the theory is spare Freud and save the child. So forget about Freud. There are demons in you, we understand. But there is a deeper level in you moving where you can tackle these demons. Not only you can tackle this demon, you can make these demons do what you want to do. After all, what are these demons? Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya, Dambha, Ahangara, Asuya, Irshya. Lust, greed, gluttony, humor cheating. So, lust, greed, anger, gluttony, envy, all those demons. The demons are populating your unconscious. But there is a deeper level, we are not conscious of that. There's a deeper level moving where, through meditation, we will be able to tackle these demons. Not only we will be able to tackle these, we will be able to tame these demons and serve your purpose. So don't tell me that there are demons in the depth, the dark depth of my mind, because of which I am not able to follow these ideals which I have imbibed, which I have got a value for. So that's why Indriya Nigraha is very, very. Indriya Nigraha means mind and the senses. So one has to control. One has to learn. It is possible. It's not that it is impossible. It is possible. If it is not possible, again I warn you, we are on the brink. We are about to fall into the dark recesses of non-existence and complete doom. It's time for us to act. So this Sanatana Dharma become very, very. And I don't say it is easy to follow. It takes on collective, individual, educational, pedagogic efforts. But it has to be done. And human beings are capable. When they face a danger, they are capable of changing the track. It is not that difficult. It is possible. So the sources of Dharma, whatever it is, there is an agreement, there is consensus about these values. So one is ahimsa. Then second is Indriya Nigraha, sense control. And the third is Acharam. Achara means Dharma is not just a proposition, set of proposition. It has to be practiced in your daily life. Ajara prabhavo dharmaha. Ajara prabhavo dharma. Dharma is nurtured and nourished by your personal contact. One has to contact oneself every step of the way, every minute of the day, at every stage of your life. Whether you are at home or marketplace or boardroom or bedroom or kitchen or on the road, wherever you are, in the temple or the church or the mosque, wherever you are, alone or in the company. Achara prabhu dharma. If the achara is not there, if you don't bring it to your daily life practice, this is all empty talk. There's no value for this. So it is time for us to look deeply into that. You have to daily say, am I? So here is a set of rules for you. There's a landmark. Are you following this? Every word you utter, every thought you entertain, every feeling you nurture, every choice you make, we have to be very, very aware. Awareful action, reflective action. I have told you that when we are discussing Bhagavad Gita, not reactive action, but reflection, reflective action, contemplative action, which is very, very important. Otherwise, you are on a slippery slope. She says something, you are stupid, you say you are idiot, and then one stupid, one idiot, then you take the cup and saucer and throw at her, and she takes the chair and throw it to you, and then it's a slippery slope. The very first step is very, very important. Don't think, this is only one step. Sobhana kandagavadu, like a ball falling from a height, it will roll down and roll and roll and get into the depth and the darkness and depth. Therefore, every step is very, very important. So, Achara Prabhu Dharma. First is non-violence. So, non-violence also means, respect for other religions, other social systems, other belief systems. And respect is mutual. Not that I respect your religion and you don't respect my religion. That doesn't work. I have to respect your religion, you have to respect my religion, you have to tolerate. Though you may not like it, but you have to tolerate it. And slowly and steadily you will learn, you will see the goodness in that, because you cannot have the master key to all goodness. Goodness is a collective phenomenon. Truth is a collective phenomenon. So therefore, the achara or sila is very, very important. Shila. What do I do? What is my content? We are not giving emphasis to that, which is very sad. We are only thinking of the intellectual output, not the behavioral output. Intellectually, you are writing a beautiful book, a dome on ethics, a theory of ethics, theory of dharma. But are you practicing? And I say, if you don't practice something, don't talk about it. You have no right to talk. First you have to practice, then you have to. That's why the Upanishad, the Mahabharata says, Achara Prabhavo Dharma. What is important is, am I practicing that? Am I putting into practice? Every step of the way, every minute of your life. Whether you are a politician or a businessman or a sports person, whatever may be your professional vocation, one has to practice. That's why it's called Sanatana Dharma, universal set of values. And then there is one more thing. In Sanatana Dharma, dana. Dana means sharing. Sharing is very, very important. Because capabilities are distributed unequally in the world. You are more intelligent, stronger, placed in a good place, come from a good family. So, capabilities or talents are distributed unequally. That is the prakriti. We have created a Samskriti culture out of that. In Samskriti, you have to do something to offset this unequal distribution. So therefore, one more value is added in Sanatana Dharma, and that value is Dhanam, charity. Charity is very, very important. When I see somebody marginalized or disadvantaged or physically challenged or mentally challenged, my heart should go out. Because they say a team's efficiency depends upon the last and the least in the team, isn't it? The strength of a chain depends upon the link in the chain. If one link is weak, the whole chain is weak. Either one cell misbehaves in the body, the whole body is gone. These are certain insights we have to develop. So he says, Dana, it is a duty. It is our responsibility. As Mahatma Gandhi said, it is my responsibility to wipe the last teardrop of the last person in the world. It's my responsibility. That also we have to think of. So I should say there are 4 pillars for Sanatana Dharma. One is ahimsa, inclusion, mutual respect, all the differences, whether you like it or not. These days they call it liberal education. Liberal education. And the second is Indriya Nigraha, mind control, which is possible. Mind is an instrument, stand apart from the mind, then alone you can control it. If you are in the mind, you cannot control that. Isn't it? If you are in the problem, then you are the problem. To solve the problem, you have to get out of the problem. And how do I get out of the problem? By watching. Not judging, just watching. When I watch, I get out of my mind and then I can control it. You don't have to even control. When you watch, mind behaves by itself. That's a secret I don't want to tell you now. That's a secret. I don't want to tell you now. If you watch your mind, the mind behaves. If you don't watch, mind misbehaves. It's like your children. If you watch them, they behave. They don't. So therefore, Indriya Nigraha is very, very important. And then Achara, personal commitment and behavior, every moment of your life. then life becomes so enjoyable, so beautiful. Your life becomes so happy. And then dhanam, sharing, empathy, care, sensitivity for the other who is suffering, who is not as advantageous, as much advantages that you have. So these are the 4 pillars. Now, the same thing is put in different ways in different systems. The Bhagavad Gita says, Yajnadana tabak karma natyajamidi jabare. I think I talked about it in my Gita lectures. Yajnadana tabak karma natyajamidi jabare. And the whole Dharma literature or Dharma vision is based upon a certain metaphysical principles. Especially the Hindu concept of Dharma is based upon the metaphysical principle. Different people have different metaphysical ideas. What is the Hindu metaphysical idea, the Vedic, the Yogic? That Brahman is the ultimate truth. The rest are all mithya. The rest are all is a show, it's a play. What is the rest? This Namarupa Prapancha, this binary world, this interactive, Vavaharika binary world, where I see you, you see me, this is binary. I want to control you, you want to control me, this is binary. I want to exploit you, you want to exploit me. I become a prey, you become the predator. Later you become the predator, I become the prey, like that. This binary world is a play, expression of the supreme truth of Brahman. So whatever you see in the world is only an expression of Brahman. This is the basis of the Advaita vision, the vision of oneness. Therefore, you are worshipping a mountain or a river or a ocean or sun, star, and then stones and whatnot. Everything becomes worship-worthy from this vision. I respect everyone. Even a poor man is Daridra Narayana. He also is God. He also is an expression of the same Brahman. That is a metaphysical vision which supports this idea of non-violence. There should be a philosophy behind it. So that philosophical understanding is very, very important. So based upon this, the Rishis has enunciated these 4 principles of Sanatana Dharma. So here it is said, Yajnadana tabak karma. Yajna is collective worship, yajna. Worshipping is ideas. So periodically we have to sit together and discuss these ideas and commit ourselves, recommit ourselves. Every year you have to do that, isn't it? The New Year resolutions. What is the New Year resolution? This, ahimsa, satyam, akrodaha, tyagameda chadushtayam, ajata shatru sevasva, dharmameda sanatana. Ahimsa, satyam, truthfulness, ahimsa, satyam, akrodaha. I am not angry with anybody. I don't want to cause fear to anybody, so that nobody will be angry with me. Our problem is, at the drop of a hat, our blood pressure goes up. And we show our fangs and nails and whatnot. The law of the jungle. So we have to, every New Year, every day morning, you have to, now why do you wait for the whole year? Every day morning, it is your duty to reaffirm, put these ideas into your brain. Ahimsa, satyam, akrodaha, today I won't be angry. You may not be angry with your wife and children, but you're angry with the dog. No. Dog also has got a right to live in this world. They also, because dog also includes in our concept of life, flourish. Don't pollute the air, because that also is part of our life. It's all intelligent. It's all living. Air is a living entity. If that doesn't live, you also don't live. If you pollute the air, you cannot live. If you pollute water, you cannot live. So therefore, every day morning, We have to take this resolution. That's what we should do. That's the meaning of meditation and prayer. I think Brahman is the repository of these values. So dedicate yourself every day. Tell yourself. Prostrate at the feet of this idea. Because when you prostrate, some blood will go into your brain at least. Otherwise, blood is stuck up in the stomach, isn't it? So it will go into your brain and you will get confirmed in this idea. Every day in the morning, meditate on these four principles. Ahimsa, Satyam, truthfulness, Akrodaha, non-anger. Ahimsa, Satyam, Akrodaha, Tyagamedaschya dushtayam. And the fourth is sharing. I have to be empathetic. There are so many people suffering in the world. I have to think about that. I have to feel. You don't need a television set to know this. If your mind is subtle, you will know it. People are suffering. Things are suffering. So these four values has to be repeated every day in the morning. And as you go to bed, again you have to review. What is my progress? How much mark you will give to yourself? Out of 10, how much mark will you give? 5, 6, 9, 9.5? How much mark? So make a list of them. So this way, step by step, thought by thought, you will be able to re-educate yourself, unlearn a few things, and learn a new set of values. It is this new set of values which will influence your intentions, thoughts, feelings, words, and actions. So, yajnadana tabakkarma natyajyamidi chabare. Also, I have, when I was discussing Brihadaranya Upanishad, 3 values we have seen, common universal values. What were they? Dhanam, Dhamma, and Daya. They are another 3 important values. Same thing. I'm putting in a different way. Because when we put in different ways, it will strike you. Dhanam, Daya, and Dhamma. Dhanam we have already seen. Daya we have already seen. Dhamma also we have said Indriya Nigraha. Dhamma means reducing your needs, which I think is very, very important in the modern world. Reducing your needs so that you can share with others, so that you don't exploit the planet more than what it can sustain. Reducing your needs. So, Dhamma, Daya, Dhanam. And Patanjali gives some values, universal values. What are they? Ahimsa, of course, Ahimsa comes here. Ahimsa, you cannot get away from Ahimsa. Wherever you turn, whichever scripture you read, whichever conference you attend, they all talk about Ahimsa, non-violence. You cannot run away from that value. You better live with it, whether you like it or not, because that alone can sustain. Ahimsa, Patanjali says. Satyam, of course, we have seen. Brahmacharyam. Brahmacharya also is certain discipline that you follow. Brahmacharya. Ahimsa, Satyam, Brahmacharya. Brahmacharya need not mean celibacy. Brahmacharya means a disciplined fulfillment of your desires. That is the meaning of Brahmacharya. Dharma viruddho kamaha. Sankalpa prabhavan kamaha. A disciplined fulfillment of your desires, whether it's a sexual desire or some other desire, but it should be disciplined. That is called Brahmacharya. Brahmacharya also means passion for truth. They are passionate about it. You are ready to give up everything. As it is said, there is one, Tejet kularthe purusham. You have to give up your immediate personal need for gratification for the community needs. Tejet kularthe purusham. for the family needs. Kula means a family. When you take a decision as an individual, the problem with the modern culture is we are highly individualistic, narcissistically individualistic. We don't care for anyone. That is a new value, Anglo-American value, highly individualistic. So much embodiment, so much care for the body and immediate needs. Whereas the Eastern values are slightly different. When you go to China sees an individual as part of a group. That is their fundamental vision of an individual, part of a group. So when I take a decision, I think of my father, my mother, my grandfather, my grandchild, my community around me. Because my decisions influence them. And their unhappiness will influence me later. So therefore, China sees an individual, the Confucian culture. China means the Confucian culture. See the individual as part of a group. That's why in Japan there is a saying, if you stick out, you will get the hammer. If you stick out, you will get the hammer, because you cannot stick out. You have to follow the tide with the group. Whereas in India, the concept of individual is a transcendental concept. It is not just this embodiment that you are. Your real nature is beyond this embodiment. Whereas American or secular culture says you are the embodiment. There is nothing more than that. Therefore, gratify it and all kind of pleasures and drugs and whatnot. So the Indian concept of individual is a transcendental individual. Managing this body, mind, ego complex. So that concept is very, very important. How do we take ourselves to be? So the three values that the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad talk about is Dhamma, Daya, Dhanam. My decision, I should take a collectively, I should be sensitive. When I take a decision, how will it affect my family, my community, the whole environment? Then alone a decision will be taken. It requires a little inner, concept building and then role modeling and all kind of things are necessary. Making models and try to, simulate in your brain. If you cannot do it, take a supercomputer and put it in that and get a decision from there. You have to do that. Because you are living in a very complex system. Every step of you will affect the whole system. And it will boomerang on you later. Therefore, it's our responsibility. So Patanjali says, Satyam, Ahimsa, Brahmacharyam, Aparigraham, Asteyam. Asteyam means you take only what is absolutely necessary to maintain this system. To maintain this. Well, let's start with eating. Eat only half the belly. At any time, don't fill your belly. Food touching your tonsils. Don't eat so much. It is coming through your nostrils. Sometimes, when we eat too much, it comes through your nose. Don't eat that much, only half. So, asteyam means that. Don't take more than what you require. It will become a problem for you. It will become a burden for you. Aparigraha means don't have ownership. Ownership is a community to God. You are only a trustee. You are only a visitor. Keep everything tidy. As sannyasis, one of the role is when we go and stay in a home, make sure when you leave home, everything is tidy. Your room is tidy, the bed is made, the bathroom is all tidy, nothing. Don't leave it in disturbed condition. Everything should be tidy. So, aparigraha means your ownership. I myself belong to some higher path. That kind of idea is aparigraha. It will sit to you. So, Patanjali, whether it is Ten Commandments, whether it's Confucian principle, whether it is Islamic principle, everything, there is a convergence as universal values. And the centerpiece of this, as far as Hindu Vedic Dharma is concerned, or Sanatana Dharma is concerned, the centerpiece is ahimsa. So, let me leave you with this thought. Whenever you do something, you have to keep this in mind. This is your principle. And now you have your own limitations. As a body, mind, ego complex, you have got your own limitations. So next talk will be on those limitations. What can you do? Because this is the idea. This is what you should do. But what you end up doing is something different, isn't it? What you end up doing is something different. Why? And how we can manage that. Because your car is a vintage car, old car, not a BMW car, or you are riding a cycle, or you are walking, your means, your vehicle is very peculiar and limited. So how do I deal with this vehicle, which I am using, in reaching these ideas? That will be my next talk. Next talk is Varna, Ashrama, Dharma. Varna means your personality complex, your personality trait, which is unique. And Ashrama means your age. You should be age sensitive. If you're 90, don't go for marathon run. No, it's not. I mean, some of you may be able to do that. So, age sensitive and your personality sensitive. That is my person. Depending upon that, I'll be able to, that will be my next talk. So the key word today is ahimsa. That's a key word. And other word is indriya nigraha. Then achara. Then dana. But I leave you with this thought, ahimsa. Ahimsa means improvement. Thank you very much. Hari Om. See you next week.